I wouldn't be surprised if they mess around and start considering Arch Manning for Heisman again. What's going on, everybody? My name is Daniel Augustin. This is another episode of Multi-Hyphenate AF. Before I get started, please do me a favor. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe right quick. I got a goal. I got goals. All right, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the, and you, only you can help me do that. Now, before the week started, I had Oklahoma on Fraud Watch. I talked about this. I said that Oklahoma was going to lose this game. I said Arch Manning was going to outduel whoever was the other quarterback on the other side. Sometimes these college athletes, they're talented, but, these guys are 18 to 24 years old. For them to show up every single week and have the same kind of intensity, you're only going to have that with the right coach. Texas is coming in after a loss, a big loss. This game means more to them than it does to Oklahoma. Actually, Oklahoma will tell you otherwise based on how they forced John Mateer out there. But I felt it. Arch is getting better game in and game out. You can't sit here and say you don't see that. And if you say that, you're somebody who just watches or just wants to talk shit. Look at the comments. Sometimes there are people like that. There are people who want to go back and forth with me in the comments about Texas and about Arch Manning. And I'm not a Texas fan, guys. I'm not. I'm a Gator fan. I'm a fan of the game. You feel me? But I'm watching Arch and I'm watching him get better. They popped off, and right away the first game he played this season was against Ohio State. He never played against Ohio State last season. Let's be clear. Think about that. Somebody I went back and forth with on Twitter was talking about how, there's no excuse for Arch to have been playing so bad this season. I'm like, bro, he's not playing bad. He's getting better and better every single game. Arch ain't had no game where he had 4 interceptions. He's got some turnover-worthy plays, for sure, but a lot of those aren't turning into turnovers. In this game, he didn't throw no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles. He protected the ball. He extended drives on third downs. He was 11 for 12 on third downs. Converted for 6 first downs on those 12 third down plays. But he was ultimately 11 for 12 down. That's insane. That is so meticulous. In this game, you could see there were moments where Arch just made some fucking throws. This guy went back and forth with me about the stat. That's how you know he was upset about losing, about Texas winning this game. He wanted his narrative. He's in the comments from one of my last videos. He wanted his narrative. I think the name is like DV Rock or something, and he doesn't have a YouTube picture. He's in the comments talking about how, Arch sucks and I'm slow. He called me slow because of my analysis. Bro, at least I got one. What analysis are you doing? Arch cooked in this game. That guy was coming back and forth with me talking about Mateer had 3 interceptions. This game had nothing to do with Arch. It didn't? This is complimentary football, guys. Complimentary football. My defense shows up, they give me a chance to be the better quarterback. They give me a chance to outperform you, outlast you, and help my team on offense. They helped me on defense, now I'm going to help them on offense. Do you think if Arch Manning is not moving the ball down the field, 11 for 12 on third down, do you think if he's not doing that, what the defense did would have fucking mattered? Because the defense didn't score any touchdowns. Texas scored 1 touchdown outside of their offense, which was in their special teams. So there you go. You got the defense stopping Oklahoma, getting interceptions. You got the special teams putting you in good field position. They're not doing dumb shit where they're letting the ball roll and it ends up at your 4-yard line. No, they scored a touchdown for you, so they got you 7 points. And then you got your offense who also scored. Complimentary football. That's as good as it fucking gets right there. So this game isn't about Mateer throwing 3 picks. That's a completely different thing to break down. First of all, you just got to talk about Texas. Arch. If Arch was the problem, he hurts you in this game. He throws 3 picks as well. And then he makes this a duel between two games where the quarterback play is very average to below average. He didn't do that. Arch does hold on to the ball long because of the offense Sark is running. Sark is running an offense where he's expecting guys to get wide open. This is not Matthew Golden, and this is not Isaiah Bond. These guys aren't flashing open right away. So Arch is holding on to it, trying to make a play. Because of the plays that are being called. Texas needs to run more short game so that you can get more throws on the board for Arch, more darts. Arch can throw more 5, 6, 8-yard pass plays and keep the offense moving. It'll build the confidence of Texas. It'll help them dominate in the time of possession. It'll help the offensive linemen come to terms with the fact that, yeah, I can fucking block this guy for 3 seconds. Yeah, just 3 seconds. Got it. That's all you need from me. Bet. Okay, he's going to get rid of the ball in 3 seconds. Okay, got it. But when he doesn't, There's some amazing things Arch can do with his legs. He can get out of the pocket. He can make good throws. He slides into the pocket when he has to. He's got great touch on a lot of these throws, and he's getting better and fucking better. I'm telling you right now, Arch Manning is going to be well, you already know he's going to be a star because of the way the media was just doing way too fucking much before he deserved it. He's going to be a star because the media is going to make him a star. But he's going to be a star really because he's going to earn it. He's going to deserve it. He's going to be a number one pick when he does decide to come out. It better not be this year because you didn't look good enough this year, my boy. You need another year. You need that polish. If you ask me, you need 2 more years. I mean, there will be no second guessing it if he fucks around and wins a championship for Texas. Arch is going to look better, of course, when his defense shows up. But if you ask me, this is more about the plays Arch made and the plays he avoided. Now, there's still some moments now. That first drive, when they got down to the red zone, he left that touchdown off the board. He never got that touchdown. So he left something to be desired. That's how you know he's still got to improve. He wasn't confident enough that his wide receiver was going to be open, and he couldn't play with anticipation in that moment. He's going to learn from that. He's not going to remain that type of quarterback. He's got too many voices that are around him. He's going to get better and better and better. I just want to say, I didn't think it was smart. I didn't think it was smart for Oklahoma to play Mateer. This is how you know how thirsty they are. Oklahoma's got some really important games coming. If you can't win, if you can't beat Texas without Mateer, then I think you got bigger problems moving down the line here. Much bigger problems. Oklahoma's got one of the top 5 toughest schedules in all of college football, and they're about to come into that now, coming off of this embarrassing loss. Mateer has not even been practicing with the team like that. And then you rush him out there for the biggest game of the season, so to speak, where you got half of your fans, half of their fans, but he doesn't have a groove. He doesn't have repetitions. Mateer is a very instinctive player, and he's a baller. But that doesn't mean you can just line him up where he hasn't been getting that much work. He's been focused on rehab, and you just line him up to go play against a team that really wants to beat you badly, a team that's not intimidated by you, a team that's still looking for their identity, and you go and play him. I think that sends a really bad message to your guys. It sends a really bad message to Hawkins. If I'm Hawkins, I'm leaving that program. I'm not there to be Mateer's backup. He beats Kent State. Him in Oklahoma beats Kent State 40-0 essentially. And then Mateer's not even back yet, but they put him in the game over Hawkins. It's a bad look. I think Venables looked really bad in this game. It's so interesting to me how a lot of these coaches, man, they look so smart sometimes. And then sometimes you can just see that, they ain't got it. They ain't got the juice. They don't got that long-term juice. All right? I thought John Mateer playing in this game was gutsy, but I thought it was crazy and a bad decision, if you ask me. Him playing is better for TV ratings than it was for Oklahoma, and it showed. He wasn't on time. This guy is thinking about his thumb more than anything. He's still trying to rehab, and you put him out there. Your thirst to try and protect what Oklahoma has come into got the best of you today. You should have played Hawkins. Hawkins would have at least made this a game. Hawkins might have been more slippery for that Texas defense. They might have struggled to see him in that pocket. Hawkins might have made more plays. Mateer did nothing for you in this game. A couple good drives, but for Texas to be able to do what they did, he wasn't playing on time. Hawkins just came off the back of a really great game. Why not put him back in there? Why not lean on him? You got to be able, that's what the game is about. You got to be able to figure out how to lean on your guys. And Oklahoma doesn't know how to. Oklahoma, they outdid themselves. And it's embarrassing. That loss that they took today was embarrassing, and Mateer couldn't save them. And it also ruins his campaign a bit, if you ask me. Not just because of the 3 interceptions, but because of the storyline behind the 3 interceptions. Rushing back to play, but then hurting your team. You did nothing good. You did nothing good for your team, despite you rushing back. So you put your team in a worse position because you weren't ready to play. So many people want to talk trash about Arch Manning, but then after their first play, they got a first down, and then one of their offensive linemen gets a false start penalty. That put them in 1st and 15. And then on the next play, they got a 16-yard run from Wisner. First time he's coming into play and doing his thing. And then same player, number 71 on the offensive line, got another holding call. That put Texas in the 1st and 20. And now they're forcing Arch to have to throw the ball in 1st and 20. What are you expecting from your quarterback? The people who are talking trash are just clearly internet trolls. You're clearly dummies if you don't get it. I don't want to use that kind of language, but it comes to a point where it's like we gotta get down to brass tacks here. How do we win What do we need to do to win? Why are we losing? And if you're not paying attention, you're going to be saying the dumb stuff. People are looking for a scapegoat, and Arch Manning is the clear-cut scapegoat because they're seeing him in commercials. They're seeing him get these brand deals. They're seeing him get pushed by the media as a Heisman. People got to be able to decipher the difference between media push and what Arch is doing and who he is and what he's bringing to that team and what he wants out of himself. Despite his play being subpar in a lot of these other games, he's talking about it in these interviews. He's not hiding from it. So I think that's really big on him, and it shows that he's got humility and he can be humble, and it shows that he's a mature young man. So it doesn't make sense that people still want to talk shit about him when he's getting better and better every single game. He popped off playing against Caleb Downs and probably one of the best defenses in all of college football. Most definitely one of the most creative defenses in Ohio State, and he lost to the Gators, who's got a very talented team, who they needed it in that game. Plus, Arch was playing away. He was playing in the swamp. But this is Arch's first real college football season right here. He's been sitting on the bench. People are talking about how, this is no excuse for how bad he's played. And it's like, bro, last year he was playing with 4 other offensive linemen that were in the NFL, that are in the NFL now. He was playing with Quinn Ewers' team. That team had figured it out. That was a team full of seniors that figured it out. This team is not. All right? Sometimes people get caught up in the brand. This is the Texas brand, but this is not the same team. Just sick of how people just want to blame Arch Manning so bad. And, this has nothing to do with him. You don't know who else to blame, and you're spoiled with your expectation of what you want to see from Texas and from Arch Manning and from Steve Sarkisian, who I'm not a fan of. And I was just saying, Arch on Missouri right now. Bo Perbula lost that game for the Missouri Tigers. They ended up playing a game that they don't know how to play because they don't have a real passing game. Bo Perbula is an average passer, and he's a better runner than he is a passer, and it showed in this game against Alabama. Arch would clean those things up. He would be the difference maker in those games. But people just want to come for him because people don't know what else to do. People are bored. And people see the media talking about something, and all of a sudden something in their mindset just wants to rail against the machine. And I said this before. I just want to say it somewhat like I did in my notes. I would love to see Texas really just focus on making completions and first downs. They're trying so hard to be a home run hitting team, but they don't have those kinds of wide receivers. You guys have crafty and quick skill position guys that are more so possession wide receivers. If Arch gets to focus on the quick game, I think it'll open up the deep play. But Texas wants the all or nothing play, and I think they struggle because of it, and so does he. He's waiting for something to develop constantly. If it's not there, it's not there. And what might seem like it's there, he's not confident enough to make that throw because he probably feels like he's going to put it in harm's way. Just want to talk about real quick that throw that Arch made 5 minutes in the third quarter from his own end zone. And had a defender on his ankles, and Arch rolled out the pocket, made a dime throw on the sideline to Livingston. I think it was Livingston. And you just can't see, you don't see throws like that and not give him his props. They ended up getting 3 points out of that drive, which kind of sucks, but it's great to get those points though. And it's great to get out your drive, get out your own end zone, flip the field, play the time of possession game, bleed the clock, and really fuck with the will of Oklahoma. Them thinking that they got you in your own end zone and you're in trouble, and then you move the ball down the field on 3rd and 8, and then you make big plays like that. Or it was 3rd and something. I don't remember what the down and distance was, but it was 3rd down, 3rd and a decent amount of yardage, and he rolls out, makes a great play. Poised. You don't really see the nervousness on Arch. Yeah, you could sense the pressure, but you don't see the nervousness. He's a gamer, and he's going to get there. He's going to get there, all right? Before I get out of here, I just want to say Mateer was never ready to play this game. He should have never played. I think Arch made so many big plays in this game. Love that run that he had where he slid in bounds and there was still 4 minutes left. To slide in bounds with 4 minutes left shows you he's thinking about winning the quarter, which is huge. He's going to be a very cerebral quarterback who understands how to win the game and not just how to be a player, but how to win the game. How do we win this game? Next game is something different. This game in particular, what do we need to do? Do we need to bleed the clock dry on these guys? Do we need to go down and score fast? What do we need to do? He's learning. He's getting all his punches in right now. This is a very important season for Arch Manning. And I just want to say, they're not going to let go of Sark, but I feel like it should have been up for debate. We'll see what Texas does as the season progresses. Sark, in my opinion, should always be on a hot seat. Always be on a hot seat, based on it being Texas. And based on them having so much expectations and Texas always coming up short. But nevertheless, they get the win, a very important win for them. Their season is still intact. They only have one loss in the SEC. And Texas could very well be the team that creates some havoc in the SEC. They have a fairly easy schedule, so to speak. These are games they better win, but they could struggle. They got Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas coming up. And then they got Texas A&M. I haven't even thought about the Texas A&M game just yet. I don't know. I think Texas A&M wins that game because I think they have more talent, and I think they're learning how to win, and I think they're just beyond the years of experience of Texas right now. But we'll see. Texas might could maybe get that win. I'm all for it. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to watch. But hey guys, listen. If you got to this part of the video, I appreciate you watching. Fraud Watch goes to Brent Venables. And I'm not putting Fraud Watch on John Mateer. He's still a baller. And he's a junior. He can come back if he decides to. He just shouldn't have came back in this game, And you got your senior year next year. Why rush it in this game? It would have made for a gutsy game, and, people would have put him back into the number one spot for the Heisman. And now you just end up looking like, you're an average football player, when really you weren't at your best for a game where you would have needed to have been at your best. They thought that John Mateer can come in this game and be average and beat them. And now Oklahoma looks crazy. And Oklahoma's got more games this season. Who knows if what he endured in this game, because we don't know if he was on pain meds or anything, but who knows if what he endured in this game pushes back his healing process moving forward. Is he going to be ready next week? Let's find out. Because if he's not, now you got Oklahoma going up against South Carolina next week. Oklahoma going up against Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU. Oklahoma's schedule is ridiculous. There's too many games on here where you needed Mateer 100%, and you rushed him out there to play against Texas, a team that's been struggling. Roll with your guys. Hawkins was ready, but you chose not to roll with him. Dumbass decision. Brent Venables, you, sir, are on Fraud Watch. And Sark, I know you got the dub, but I just can't stand you. I think you're an awful coach, but you got bailed out too.